Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So I wanted to show you how to make the shea butter recipe, and I'm just going to go ahead and go over all the ingredients that I have here. So I have my shea butter, of course, and I took some of the shea butter. This is a white shea butter. This is just how it looks like. And I went ahead and I put it in this large glass bowl. And what I'm going to add to it is some sweet almond oil. I'm going to add castor oil, jojoba oil, the rose hip seed oil, Geranium Bourbon essential oil, Rosemary essential oil, and some vitamin E. And these are the capsules. If you have vitamin E oil, that is fine, but I just take this capsule. Okay, and I believe it is 400. Yeah, 400 per gel. So I'm gonna take 2 of these, puncture it, and then I'll put the liquid into the shea butter. And then this is optional. You don't need to add this, but I like to add it, and it's the Aloe Vera gel, the gel, not the juice. You want to add the gel to this, and I won't add a lot, just enough you know, to make it more moisturizing. And you want to have an empty container, and usually I had a glass container, and I'll show you where you can put the mixture in it. But if you have an old container with a lid, you can use it. This is an old Indian clay container, and the clay was finished, and I saved the container for this mixture. So that is what I'm going to put it in. I have my measuring tools and this to stir. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this, and I'm going to go ahead and melt it, and I will be right back with you. Okay, so I went ahead and melted the shea butter, and as you can see, I didn't melt it all the way. So it's just like soft, but not, you know, super liquidy, as you can see. This is how you want it. So to be honest, I usually eyeball what I want to use, but for the sake of this video, let's see, I'm going to use a tablespoon. So this is a sweet almond oil, 1 big tablespoon, oops, went a little over, of the sweet almond oil. Then I'm going to go ahead and add 1 tablespoon of castor oil, to the mixture. Then we're going to go ahead and add the jojoba oil. Oops. That's also 1 tablespoon of jojoba oil. Okay. So I have all of these together. I'm going to add a few drops, so about this much of the rose hip. And now, be very careful when you do this, but I'm going to go ahead and puncture just a very small hole into the vitamin E gel. And like I said earlier, if you have the vitamin E oil, you can just go ahead and use it and save yourself the work. So I'm going to go ahead and put the, and I'm gonna go ahead and add a bit of the gel, the Aloe Vera gel. And like I said, you don't need a whole lot of it, so that's like half the tablespoon. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that gel, so just a tablespoon of that. Okay, now we have everything. I'm gonna go ahead and mix this up. And what we're going to do, this is how we're going to get it very, very soft and fluffy, is I'm going to stick it into the fridge for a while, and it's gonna get solid. I'm just mixing this around a bit, and it will just melt. Everything will melt and stir it really well together. So once I stick this into the fridge, it will get really solid. Not like super hard, but just, you know, solid enough that when you press it, it will create a dent into it. And once it gets solid, we're gonna go ahead and take our hand mixer and we're gonna whip it. Okay, we're gonna get that nice fluffy light texture. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the fridge, and I'm trying to think of how long it usually takes. Pretty like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, it should be solid. Also depending on, you know, how cold your fridge is. But I think 20 minutes to 30 minutes, it should be a nice, solid texture. And then we'll take it out, we'll whip it, and I'll show you the rest of the process. So I'll be right back with you. Hey everyone, so I actually left it in the fridge for a longer time. I left it in the fridge overnight, so it was a bit harder than I wanted it to be, so I left it out for it to soften. Don't stick it back in the microwave. After you've put it in the fridge, do not stick it back in the microwave. If it is a bit too hard, just leave it out and it will soften. As you can see, I left it out a bit because I left it in the fridge overnight. It was hot and I had the paper to write. So I'm gonna go ahead and whip it like so, okay? So before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and add my rosemary. Rosemary essential, just a few drops. You can just add it as much as you want. It's essential. It won't, you know, for the scent. So if you want like you don't want a strong scent, don't use a lot. And then a bit of the geranium. Geranium is really strong, so I don't use a whole lot of that. Okay. So once I have that, I'm gonna go ahead and scrape these into this. Okay. And now we're just gonna take our, rub this on here, hand mixer, and I'm gonna go ahead and whip. And the more you mix it, it will turn into a very nice, fluffy, light texture. And it will just, it's very soft and very moisturizing, as you can see. Okay? And once you put it in your container, I'm going to go ahead and put it in container. This is how it should look like. The final product should be this texture. I'm just going to scoop. You see how soft it is? It is very soft and light and fluffy compared to the way you know, the shea butter usually is, and it will melt in your hair. You can also use this for your skin as well. Just put it in this, you know, glass container if you have one, or any other container that you have. You can also go ahead and scoop it up and put it in there and store it, and it lasts a long time.